what again brought you to New York in 2001?
My brother called me up and said, "Yo, what are you doing? What are we doing?" You know, and I was like, you know what? I want something different. I want to change. He started working for Starwood Hotels, the W Hotel. And he said, you know, I had just graduated from Johnson & Wales University in North Miami Beach, studying hospitality management. And he had just graduated from FIU, hospitality management. And he said, you know, why don't we come and work for this hotel brand? I said, cool. So we worked for that hotel brand for a while. I worked with them probably about 9 to 10 years. And I loved it. I traveled the world. I got to know so many different facets of the hotel business. I was in catering. I was in conference services. I was in front desk. I was in housekeeping. So I did a little bit of everything. And then in 2011, my great uncles were getting old. And my brother said, why don't we just take over the family business? I was like, that makes sense. Yeah. So my great uncles had just had established a restaurant in 1976, Rincón Criollo.
And that's in Queens?
Yes.
Okay.
And then me and my brothers in 2011 just went in and said, all right, well, we want to take it over. And they said, take it over? You mean you want to buy it?
Oh, they told you want to buy it.
Yeah, we were like, you're not just going to give it to us? And then they gave us a really high number.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah. I was like, not even a family discount?
Yeah. Oh, I know how family, especially when you're dealing with Cubans. Yeah.
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 So me and my brother were like, okay. So we had to make it happen. And we asked my dad for help and mom for help. And we made it happen. And we bought it in 2011.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you and your brother been running it. Yes. And you obviously get along.
Oh, yeah. I love my brother. He's my best friend. Business partner, best friend.
Wow. Wow. That's great. And so now recently with your comedy, because the restaurant closed, you were still making money, right?
To go. We were doing to go. Honestly, there were days that I was just open to pay my staff.
Oh,
we weren't actually making money. It was just enough money to pay for the expenses, pay for the labor cost or whatever it was. It wasn't really a lot of profit.
So that was the pandemic hit you really, really hard.
Oh yeah. It was very hard. And the restaurant is an experience restaurant. You go there to celebrate your birthday. To celebrate. Right. And yes, we were good for takeout, but it wasn't the same experience.
Right.
People want to come and eat inside.
Right.
So
you had music and different stuff like that.
It's a great atmosphere. It's a great vibe. And suddenly it was just taken away from us. And it just got me so sad.
Oh.
I walked into these walls that there was nobody inside when I was so used to that warmth of the people, the families, of the laughter, of the yelling, or whatever it was people.
Right. And a lot of regulars coming in and seeing different regulars and people, disappear and then not hearing from the regulars. Because a lot of people left New York and went down to Florida. Yeah. And
definitely. It was hard even asking, like, how's this person? How's that person? Oh, they passed away. I'm like, oh. So I was just staying quiet. I wasn't even asking because I just felt bad.
And so during this time, did you do open mics virtually?
No, I started in January of 2021. Finally, they started opening stuff up, and I went to the Tiny Cupboard.
Oh yeah, okay.
I love that Tiny Cupboard in Brooklyn. And I went with a bunch of friends. I didn't really know what an open mic was. I didn't realize it's a place where comics go to practice. I thought it was a show. So I brought friends. I brought like 10 friends, and I was the funniest person up there because I had a crowd.
Because they were your own friends. Yeah.
So they were like, oh my God, this girl's great. But I had no idea what I was doing as far as structure.
Right. The writing aspect of it.
I didn't know that. Right. I didn't know how to write a joke. I just was funny. I just went up there and grabbed
to do different routines because you've got 10-minute sets. You've got to when I see specials for an hour, they're putting in a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
And that's why I think to reach that level, you need so many years of experience with comedy.
Definitely. I agree. Can't wait to get to that point because I can talk a lot. No, but it's just getting to that point that you're just like that comfortable that you have that much material because you have to respect the craft.
Right. Yes.
And that's, I think, one of my biggest pet peeves sometimes, like some comics that just get up there and just talk. That's great. But you have to respect what you're doing. You have to respect comedy. There's a structure to it. Yeah. It's not just stand there.
And pulling up the material from your background. It's not as easy. Like people don't. That's why I really respect the... Before I started doing the podcast, I started doing like lives on IG, and there was somebody that went viral that I interviewed, and but they weren't like a stand-up comedian. And then I saw like how cocky they were. I was so turned off, and they were full of themselves. They're like, I know all in New York or whatever. And then I noticed a difference when I interviewed stand-up comedians because they put in the work.
Oh yeah,
they put in. They're not just doing TikToks. They're not just No, they're putting in the work. They're putting in the stage time. They're doing the open mics. And I saw the difference. And then I started I said, you know what? I just want to, with Sunday Funday, I want comics on here. I don't want to bother with these other people. Like, it's just, I don't want nobody that's, you know what I'm saying? I want the true, craft of it, the people that service. Because I see the difference when interviewing.
Yeah.
Even, you know what I'm saying? It's no jokes or like little skits or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and a lot of my comedy like comes from like me, which I know they say you gotta like embellish a little bit. I don't really embellish too much. I use because my life is hilarious. There's stuff that has happened to me, and my mom's like, "Oh my God," she's like, It's me just having regular conversations sometimes because there's so many outrageous things that have happened to me. So I think sometimes I laugh. I'm like, God, are you messing with me? I'm like, are you just throwing material in my face right now?
I take it and write it. That's material.
Yes, everything. I'm like, especially at the restaurant. Oh my God, I get so much material at the restaurant.
Oh, wow.
So many of the customers and just the situations and things that happen. I'm like, okay, I'm going to write about this.
You know what? And what I've noticed, I've interviewed like a comic from Miami, and I've known of other Miami comics, and they always kind of cater to that Miami audience. With you being in New York, do you notice how to be more diverse in the crowd versus, because I understand comedy in Miami. So when I watch those, I can't think of the one guy's name. I hit him up. He won't be on my show. He's never replied to my email.
What's his name? Let's get him.
Mario. He never replied to my email. He has never replied, but he's funny.
Yeah.
But he caters to just Miami. And as a comic, when you go into the city, you can't just cater.
Oh, definitely.
They don't get it. You have to learn to cater to the different audience. Have you already discovered that with the different audiences?
Definitely. I've been in downtown clubs, and it's just different because you have tourists, and there's just different type of people. And I've also been in my Spanish crowd. I've been in in that ambience that I come in and I already get the love. I don't even I even grab the mic. They're like, oh my God!
No, I get the love with. What's crazy is I follow a lot of female comics, and they're known, and then they follow me back, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But if it's somebody else, and I get my love back from my other fellow Latinos, you know what I'm saying? And it's great. But I notice, that's kind of hard, like cater. How do you cater to those when you do go to the city?
I'm the type of person, I like to go a little bit before the show.
Okay.
And I like to watch people as they're coming in. And I'm so good at like reading that like body language.
Right.
So the moment they walk in, I'm like, all right, they're together and they're not together. They're unhappy. They're happy. They're probably friends. Okay. They're here for a good time. And you kind of pick at what you have, at least what I do.
Your bits. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this material is going to work. And one time I went to a place and they had a dog. And I have a joke about bestiality.
Oh my!
And I was like, all right, maybe not use that joke. I was like, X that one out. So you kind of feel the crowd. And,
right.
Yeah, so I'm very big on that. And I like to even talk to people before the show, which is so nice because that's how you start getting...
That's you're the first comic that I don't know, you realize that for just starting in 2021.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And I love that. I'm a people person. I talk to everybody. I talk to the wall if it talks back. I'm like, I'm super like just like friendly. And and I think it's very important to gain the respect of those people that are going to be there at your show.
Right.
They paid a ticket to see a show.
Right.
And they want an experience. They want to be a part of it.
Right.
They don't just want to sit there and, okay, and this is my joke, and this is my joke. No.
Right.
They want to laugh with you. They want to be a part of it. So when I'm up in there, I'm like looking at people. I'm like looking at people in the eyes, and I'm like bringing them into what I'm saying, and where my single ladies at, where my older women at, where my people with no kids.
Right.
I'm like trying to where my couples. I'm like, congratulations to you guys. I wish I had a couple, but I don't. Right. It's just gauging who
you're reading the room.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.